data acquisition is huge, and then just making sure that you actually leverage that to your advantage as well.
No, 100%. And it's definitely difficult. We're trying to build more, or we've definitely, in 2024, we've tried to engage with the customer more face-to-face, because it's like all these things. Like, we could do this podcast over Zoom, but it's not going to be as good as it. You need to be face-to-face. Zoom's good, but it's not good enough. And it's the exact same with, say, if you're speaking with customers. So we like to try engage with the customer. So it's when we're doing an event, you need to see what do they wear and how do they act and why do they like the product. And surveys are good, but they're not great. And if you just spend that time meeting your customers face-to-face, it's definitely hugely valuable.
Yeah, I think you miss a lot being behind a screen.
Massively, yeah.
Like, yes, you have access to data and numbers, and you can do a lot with that, but you forget that we are human at the end of the day. And if we're marketing to humans, you need to really understand the exact person that you're marketing to, which comes back to the ICP. And yes, you can rely on the numbers, which will tell you a lot about the sales funnel or where the drop-off points are, or maybe what's working and what isn't. But you're still missing that piece of, like, who is my ICP? Like, who are they? What do they wear? Like you said, what events do they go to? And then how can I build the product that is going to be perfect for them or market to that individual?
No, 100%.
So how do you do that then? Like, I know it's a bit of a long-winded question, but how do you further refine the product to truly match your ICP or the marketing of the product?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. So where my biggest downfall, so my previous business was in personal shopping. So I built up a business called LS Personal Shopper, which I exited started stepping away about 2 years ago. And I've never been obsessed with the product. I've never been a product guy. I've more been like the business guy, the marketing guy. So it's something I'd always struggled with. That business like model complemented me because people already wanted the product. So people already wanted the Dior trainers or the t-shirt. All I had to do was supply it. I knew that when starting, say, an e-commerce business, I was never obsessed with, say, a clothing brand. I wasn't obsessed with how you stitch it, or I wasn't obsessed with enough to be able to go through all the hurdles which you have to go through because you're constantly getting bad samples. So I knew having Olivia as being obsessed with the product, but the benefit we have is she is the target market. And you're seeing a lot of brands do this well, where they are the market. So they know that if they can design into what they like, there's a huge market out there who are very similar to them. Obviously, what some brands are doing even better now, the obvious example is Represent Clothing, is they're building such a strong personal brand that they can then manipulate if suddenly everyone's into fitness now, and George has built 247 in such an incredible way. But previously, if his passion went into something else and he started designing clothes around that, people would follow. So it's very interesting how people are using that to their advantage. It was something we're trying to do and trying to understand, but ultimately Olivia is the target market. And I think she's influenced like how we all are in many different ways. But I think ultimately we can pinpoint that very well because we have a joke in the office, but the team of girls we need board approval for new pieces. It's basically saying that they're all similar to our target demographic. They all have to like it for us to then release it. And we know, like, we're very confident where, you know, if you see something and you can see it and you can feel it, like, we know our customer's going to like it. So it takes time to develop, but early on you haven't got a clue. We weren't smart enough to then understand we want to really sell to this market. So, but I know other brands have done that very well.
Yeah, for sure. I think Represent is a really good example. I have a question off the back of what you said. Like, even if you are the person that you're marketing to, or you fit your ICP, or not you, but Olivia, what if her perception on what she likes changes? Yeah. How do you then keep your ideas current with what the market wants, or maybe versus what you want to do as a brand owner that's maybe slightly different to what's in the market currently?
Yeah, no, that's also an interesting point. And you see brands, say, a very big jewelry brand comes to mind, and they were founder led. The brand's named after her, and she's probably in her 40s, 50s, 60s now. But it was started, in early 2000s. So they've had 24 years, 25 years. And you've seen, you get to that, say, awkward position where it's like, say, if you build your brand in your 20s, do we want to keep targeting that demographic, or do we want to keep the same demographic and age with them? It's something I think about a lot, but I think our mindset is that we will. So as Olivia gets older and understands, I think we'll try keep age with that demographic. Obviously, it gets to the point where, unfortunately, you're probably either too old to buy jewelry or you're not interested. But I think that will be our play. as opposed to, I know some brands say we only want to target 18 to 21-year-olds, but at that point, you're constantly 18 to 21-year-olds. When I was 18, it's very different to how 18-year-olds are now. So you're constantly having to move with the times a bit more. I think it's a bit of an easier model, but I think was thinking 5, 10, maybe 15-year problems.